am back out in the garden, and I've already picked the tomatoes and another mess of purple hull peas. Now I am picking beans for the third time. I planted them thick because I just had this one fence row for them to climb on, and it was a mistake because I really have a hard time getting in to see the beans for the foliage. So lesson learned. But I wanted to have enough to make a few good cannings because I was completely out of these turkey crawl beans, and they are my favorite. So I'm going to quit here. I just like a little bit here past the camera, so I'll finish up. It's going to rain. So here are the tomatoes that I picked today and the purple hull peas. And down here, there's the beans I picked. I did pick both sides of that row. It was just sprinkling, and so I went ahead and finished it. So that was probably enough for 3 or 4 quarts to can. So I just finished shelling out a big batch of peas. So now I've got more work to do. I canned beans last week and tomatoes and froze peas, and it looks like I'm going to do the same thing this week. Hey, so it's going on about 9 o'clock now, so when the grass dries enough, I'll be outside working, doing some weeding and trim work today. My voice is still hoarse this morning, even after 2 cups of coffee, but bear with me. But y'all, on a previous video, I don't know if it was the last one, maybe the time before last, I was making pizzas with the Ninja Woodfire grill as an experiment, and it turned out so good. Everybody loved it. So I made it for James and Ashley and Theodore one day for lunch. And they came back for the leftovers a couple of days later, said they couldn't stop thinking about it. So since then, I made it this past weekend. On Sunday, I had Brandon here from Nashville, and James and Henry, his son, that's 11 years old, and they came for lunch after church. So they had heard about how good the pizzas were, so they were anxious to try it. So we made 2 pizzas that day, and I'm sorry I didn't video the end result, but once it's done, the aroma is so wonderful. You just want to dig in and start eating, and of course that's what we did. So I didn't video the response or anything, but they loved it. Jason took all the leftovers home for him and Henry. Brandon was headed back to Nashville, so he didn't think it would be good to travel with the pizza. So that was Sunday, and Monday I had some very dear friends planning to come over and spend the day with me, and they were going to bring lunch, and I said, well, let me just make some pizzas for you because I already had the stuff and I need to use it up. I had chopped up the peppers and onions and cooked the chicken breast and had all the ingredients. I said, let me just fix pizza. So they brought salad and dessert. And it's usually 5 of us when we get together, but one ended up with a stomach bug. The other one, Carol, prayed for her and her husband, Ted. She had to call EMS for Ted that morning. He had a really high temperature, and his leg was really swollen. So they kept him in the hospital, and he's still there this morning. So y'all pray for him. But so it was just 2 of us, Donna and Rita. So we enjoyed the lunch, and they took leftovers home with them too to share with their husbands. And so we had a great time that day playing games, and they just spent the day. We just hung out here together and talked and laughed and played games and ate. It was a good day. So then the next day, Tuesday, my good friends, Jerry and Beverly, they've been helping me so much with the hard work outside. So we have a long gravel driveway, and the grass grows up in it, and it was getting so bad that I had to do something. So I took my Roundup and sprayed all the grass all the way up and down the driveway, and it looked like it was pretty good and dead. So what Joe always did was get his tractor out and put the box blade on it and scrape up and down the driveway, and it would pull all of that grass up and at the same time pull up the gravel to refresh the gravel on the driveway, and it looked so pretty after he did that. So Jerry has the tractor just like Joe's. He knew exactly how to use it, so he volunteered to come over and he scraped the driveway. And but the ground was so hard where we hadn't had any rain. You would think as much rain as we've had this season, that ground wouldn't be as hard as it was, but it was hard even for that box blade to pull some of that grass out. But he did a good job. I mean, it still looks a lot better. I'm going to spray it again, and once after it rains and the ground is soft, he'll come back and scrape again. But anyway, that was Tuesday. We were outside working, and I said, well, can I fix lunch for you guys while you're here? And they said, yeah. So we did pizza because I still had ingredients left, and so I made pizza Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday this week. So this is Thursday, and I still have the peppers and stuff that I've cut up enough to make a couple more pizzas. So my neighbor that helps me out, he's my handyman. Anytime I need anything done, he says, you call me first. They have 4 children. So I'm going to make pizzas today and take over for them to have later. But I'm going to show you the whole process this time. So I wanted just to say that I have been using the pre-made pizza crust, pizza dough from Aldi. That's what my cousin Bobby used when we were down there. And it does make it so easy. It's already done. All you have to do is roll it out and build your pizzas. But I just felt like the crust was a little tough. So I wanted to go back to my homemade pizza dough that I made from learning from this Italian lady, Italian grandmother. She was the first YouTube channel that I started watching on a regular basis. And it was called Depression Cooking with Clara, I think was the name of her channel. But I ordered her cookbook, and the recipes in here, all of her favorite recipes. But this is the cookbook, Clara's Kitchen. And the recipe is in this book, and this little book is just filled with recipes and pictures of her. I just loved watching her. She is so authentic, and when she makes something and tastes it, she goes, I just loved it. Look at her picture here. But in the back, it was said she was born in 1915, and she grew up during the Depression. She was born in Illinois, and she had to learn how to cook during the Depression years. So this is a really great little book. I loved watching her. I watched her for about a year, and then one day I pulled it up, and her grandson did the videoing and editing and posting on YouTube, and she had passed away. And I cried. She was just like a grandmother to me. She had such a sweet personality, and she told stories about her and her family. So this is Clara's pizza dough recipe that I'm making today. So let's get started with that because it needs time to rise, and it may be afternoon before the grass is dry enough for me to do any work. But anyway, I'll get started on this dough and I'll show you how I make it. All right, well, let's get started on the pizza dough, and I'm going to make half of the recipe than what it calls for in her recipe. So she starts out with 9 cups of all-purpose flour, but I have in this bowl 4.5 cups. And I'm always using White Lily all-purpose flour. So you want to dig a little well in the center of the bowl, and to that well you're going to add the yeast, and it calls for 6 teaspoons, so I'm going to use 3 teaspoons. There's 1, 2, 3. And you want to put in your water, and altogether it calls for an estimated 3.5 cups of warm water. But remember, I'm doing half, so altogether I'm going to use around 1 3/4 cup. So to start with, I'm going to go ahead and pour about half of that in here. I've already measured it in my cup here. And you also want to use olive oil, and it calls for 8 tablespoons, so I'll be using 4 tablespoons. I don't have olive oil, I just ran out, so I'm going to use my avocado oil. I'm going to use the avocado oil, I like it just as well. And we need, what did I say, 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to just stir this up a little bit and let it sit and let the yeast bloom. You're not wanting to mix the flour in yet. Just give that a little stir in the center of the bowl there. And I'm going to let that sit for maybe 5 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, it's been about 5 minutes or so, and I'm back to the dough. So I'm just going to take this big fork. In her recipe, she says start working it up with your hands. I don't like using my hands any more than I have to. So to start with, I'm just going to bring in some dough and just start mixing it in, and it says to gradually add the salt as you go. Let me go ahead and put the salt in. She said gradually add the water, not the salt. So I'm using 3/4 teaspoon of the Redmond real salt that I just got. Just incorporate that in, and then you add the water, extra water as you go along. It's getting pretty stiff, so I'll go ahead, put some more water in. Starts forming this dough ball like this, that's when I go in with my hands and start kneading it. But I think it still needs a little more flour because it's pretty sticky. I like this big fat fork because it's great for just getting in and trying to knead it and getting all that dough blended in, all the flour blended in. I think this is a good step for me to go ahead and start kneading with my hands. Now you can flour your surface and get it out and knead it, but I just don't see any need in that. No pun intended. So I just knead it right in this bowl. If you have a big wide bowl, you can just knead it right in there. So I'm just going to get the dough off the fork and set it aside here. Get a little bit of flour on my hands. I don't want to put too much flour on the dough, but I don't want it sticking to my hands. And just start punching it down and turning it over and stretching it. Okay, this dough ball is getting pretty smooth and it's coming off the sides of the bowl. It's not really sticking anymore. And it's pretty elastic too, and it's softer. It's easier to knead. And I've just been working it for about 5 minutes, so I don't think we need to go the whole 20 minutes that she says in her recipe. And I made this before, and this is how I've done it. I've not stood here and did this for 20 minutes. So you can see it's pretty elastic. Sticks to my fingers a little bit there. And this is what you do. If it's sticky and sticking to your hand as you're kneading it, you just work in a little more flour. And we're going to call this done and cover it up and let it go through its rise. So let me just form a little ball here. Okay, I'm going to punch that down in the bowl and cover it with a damp towel, which I have sitting over here on the counter. And we're going to let it rise for about an hour and a half. So that's all there is to making the dough. So I'll be back after it goes through its first rise. Okay, I'm back and it's been about an hour and a half. Our dough has been rising and it's doubled in size. I'll show it to you in a minute. But in Clara's recipe book, the dough recipe is the recipe that her mother made when she was growing up during the Depression years. She would make 6 loaves of bread every Sunday, and she used this recipe. And it's so versatile, they did a lot of things with it. But she says in here, a picture of Clara making her bread. They would make garlic bread with it. They would take a slice of the bread and use melted butter and garlic cloves and brush over it and toast it and make garlic bread. She would use it for pizza. She said sometimes my mother would cut off a piece of dough when she made her bread and save it to make pizza. Sometimes it would be waiting for us when we got home from school. It was a really special treat. So she told what they put on their pizza here. And they would make fried dough with it. Now, have you ever had fried yeast rolls? There's this restaurant in Kingsport, Tennessee, called Ridgefield's Country Club. They used to have a restaurant there. It's something else now. But when I was working, we would have a lot of work celebrations there, and they had the best fried rolls that you'd ever eaten. So I may try frying some of these sometimes, but it says one of the things we used to really enjoy in the warmer weather was the summer street festival. There was one year, though, where there was a shootout and some gangsters in the neighborhood, and the cops came and cleared everyone out. That year wasn't that much fun, but most years were, and especially for the food. We had all kinds of treats, including Italian ice, which she has a recipe for in here. And sometimes we'd bring our own treat to sell, like fried dough. And here they are at the street festival. And she says basically all it was really was pizza dough that was stretched out, dropped into very hot oil, and fried until it was crisp on the outside. but soft and warm on the inside. We'd sprinkle it with powdered sugar or salt, and it was delicious. I like the salted dough the best. Other people have tried it with some tomato sauce spooned on, and you might like it that way. See what works for you. And she tells how to fry that dough. And look at the little picture with the fried dough. Fried pizza dough. So anyway, I encourage you to order this. You can order this book on Amazon, and I think her YouTube channel is still on YouTube. So let me get you down here where the dough is without tipping my camera over. So we've had this damp towel over the dough, and you can see how it's just risen to the top. So all I'm going to do now, if I was making bread, you would punch this down and divide it into loaf pans. But I'm not making loaf bread, I'm making pizza dough, and it's going to be later this evening. So I'm just going to punch this dough down and put it in this plastic storage container and put it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to roll the pizza dough out. So I've just washed my hands. I handled the book. Let me go ahead and wash it. Okay, hands are freshly washed and dried. So I'm just going to punch this dough down and gather it all up and scraping it off the sides of the bowl as I go. And just put it inside this storage bowl. Now that came out nice and clean. So I'll just punch it down in here. And put the cover on it. And I'm going to store this in the refrigerator until around 4:30. And one more thing I wanted to mention when you make the pizza dough, I didn't do it on this video since I'm making it for a family with 4 children. I don't think they would like the jalapeno peppers. But when I made it earlier for my friends, I put some diced jalapeno peppers in with the flour when I made the dough and mixed it all up, and it makes a delicious pizza dough with those jalapeno peppers mixed in with it. Now Aldi has one with jalapeno peppers. Excuse me, I just ate lunch. Had a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. But anyway, Aldi, and I think Publix does too, have pre-made pizza dough with the jalapeno peppers in it. And they also have the traditional plain too. So that's what I made today, was just the plain pizza dough. So I just wanted to give you that little tip. The grass is still wet, but I've got to mow and get started on this work anyway. It's noon, but there's so much humidity in the air, it takes a long time for the grass to really dry. So I'm going to mow this dog lot with the push mower for starters. Well, I'm back. It's that time to get started on putting these pizzas together. And I got all hot and sweaty out working in the yard today, and got cooled down and showered and cleaned up. got hydrated. All right, and got my hands clean. So let's roll the pizza dough out for starters. So I've taken it out of the refrigerator, and you can see how it's risen even in the refrigerator. So I'm going to punch this down again. And I'm going to take about 1/4 of this dough out to roll out an 8-inch round pizza. Now the surface of the Ninja Woodfire grill is about a 10 by 13. So an 8-inch pizza works great. So I'll just tear that down the middle and down the middle again. And like I said, I'm going to make 2 pizzas tonight. So here's 1/4 of the dough. And let me get you all down here so you can see what I'm doing. Knocking stuff off of my apron. All right. So it's a little cold since I just took it out of the refrigerator, but it will warm up with your hands. So you just want to start pressing down and try to keep it in a circle if you can. If you want a rectangle, it doesn't matter what shape, really, that you roll it out in. Sometimes I just roll it whatever it wants to be. And Joe liked the word rustic, so I call it rustic pizza when it's in a different shape. Stuck a little bit there. I need more flour on this side. So I'm just pressing out with my hand to begin with. And a friend of mine got me this little wooden rolling pin, and it's called a spurtle, I think. I think that's what it was called. But anyway, it's just small and narrow, and it works great for rolling this crust out. And it's easy to work with. And this board has a ring on it that shows the different size pies. So I want to get it right to get an 8-inch pie. Whoa. And I think that's getting close. I just want to get all the dough kind of even, no thick spots anywhere. And I think that is perfect right there. And then to build the pizza, I put it on the wooden, you need something to slide it off of onto the grill. So I'm going to slide this down a little bit. And I'm going to roll this pizza in force to pick it up. And then roll it back out on this wooden cutting board. And it happens to be an 8-inch size too. So now to keep the pizza dough from puffing up while it's cooking, I just take my fingers and just dipple all over the dough. And you see all the little dipples in it. I'm going to set this to the side, and then I'm going to roll out the second dough. So you see, by making this homemade pizza dough, it really makes 4 8-inch pizzas. That's pretty cold too, right there. Stretch it out. Try to act like I'm a pizza professional, throwing that dough around. This one's pretty cold. I wanted to tell you too, on this round cutting board that I put that on, I dusted it a little bit with some cornmeal mix. It's cornmeal and flour mix, and it helps it to slide off easy when I get ready to put that on the grill. Some people just like to use flour. They don't like to use cornmeal, but I think the cornmeal helps it to slide off better. Now, the kids just like cheese and pineapple, is what I'm told. So one of these pizzas will just be cheese and pineapple. The other pizza, I think I'm going to make half of it the buffalo chicken, and half of it pepperoni and vegetables, the other half. I'm not sure if Pam and Sam would like the buffalo chicken, but everybody that's had it loved it. One of my friends the other day said, "Now, I didn't think I would like this buffalo chicken, but it's delicious." So I'm just going to do half of that, and the other half I'll do pepperoni. Pam likes her vegetables. I'll put peppers and onions on there. Okay, that's about an 8-inch circle, so I'm just going to fold that in 4s and set it aside until we're ready to build that pizza. Now let's go outside and ignite the Woodfire grill. Okay, so we're outside at the Woodfire grill, and I bought this table for it at Sam's Club. I bought it last year at Christmas time, and I ordered it online, and I love it. It's got these pull-out drawers for storage, and then I keep my gardening tools underneath here. But this is the Pro XL Ninja Woodfire grill. I got it plugged up. This is the hopper bin, and I've already got the wood pellets in here. It comes with a package, a small package of pellets. 2 of them. One is all-purpose blend, and the other one is robust. And I'm using the robust today because I've already used all of the all-purpose. So we'll open it up, and I prefer using the grill plate for pizza versus the flat plate. I liked getting the grill marks on the bottom of the pizza dough. I think it works best, in my opinion, with the grill plate. So I'm going to close that up, and I've got it plugged in. So I'm going to set this on grill, and I want it on high, and it's 45 minutes, so that should be plenty of time. And I'm going to hit the Woodfire igniter switch here and hit start, and it will ignite and start preheating. So while it's going through that process, I'll go inside and build the pizzas. Okay, got my pizza dough sitting here, ready to start building. So I'm going to do the half and half pizza first. I'm going to do half the buffalo chicken and half pepperoni with vegetables. So for the base of the buffalo, I use his whipped cream cheese. And I think I'll have enough in here since I'm just making half. just enough. Last time I made it, I got some of the buffalo sauce in here with the cream cheese, but it doesn't matter because I'm putting the buffalo sauce right on top of it. And I put it all the way to the edge. Okay. Now, throw that away. Put that in the sink. Now, for the base of the pepperoni and vegetable, I'm going to use the tomato sauce. And I'm using Newman's Own Sockaroonie. It says peppers, spices, and other whole shebang. And the whole shebang, that's what it says. Newman's Own. So let me get some of this on here. Okay, there's that. I'll use that for the kids later. Now, for the buffalo side, I got to put the Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo sauce with garlic. Come on. Okay. And I should have kept the spoon so I could spread that, but I'll use this little spatula. Get that spread out a little bit. Now, on top of that, I'm going to put some shredded chicken that I cooked in the crock pot. Okay. So that's that. Out of the way and do the pepperoni. First of all, I'm going to put some cheese on that layer over here. And I'm going to use this Great Value brand Hickory Smokehouse blend. I'm actually going to put it on both sides. Cheese all over it. Now, I'll do the pepperoni. And I've got to open this new bag. Okay, some chicken fell off there. And Pam likes her vegetables. So put some onions and peppers on both sides of this. I don't know about Sam, about the vegetables, but I like onions and peppers on the buffalo style. Just a little more. And some peppers. And then, let's see, mozzarella. Gotta have fresh mozzarella. And it's already pre-sliced. And I just tear it and place it all over the pizza. Okay, and I'm going to use this classic uncured bacon jam, a sweet and savory spread. Just get a spoon here and put a little dollop. This goes on the buffalo side. Good. And then, what else do I need? Got the mozzarella, I need some basil, and I need the jalapenos. I don't know if Sam likes these. He can take them off if he doesn't. Need another spoon. But I think it really makes the pizza. It gives a little bit of heat, but it's not much at all. It just adds another level of goodness to the pizza. So that's all I'm going to put on there for that side. And let me wash my hands again. And I'm going to put some basil all over it out of my herb garden. I think this one is ready for the grill. I think I've put everything on it that needs to go on it. I may add a little more cheese on top. Just a little sprinkle. Okay. Let's go out and see how the grill is heating up and if it's ready yet to add this pizza. I cannot tell you all how good this already smells. It went through the igniting process and now it's preheating the grill again, so it shouldn't be long, and it will say add food and we'll put this pizza on. Just another tip, if you get a wood fire grill and set it on a table like this, and we have vinyl siding on our house, I forgot to pull it out from behind or not behind, but away from the house one time, and when I opened the lid, it put a little dent. The chimney part put a little dent in the siding. Woo-hoo. Okay, it just beeped and says add food. So I'm going to use my pizza peel and carefully slide that off onto the grill. See the smoke coming out? Oh, if I can do this without it. All right, perfect. Get that little piece of basil that fell off. Close the lid. We're going to check this in about 5 minutes and see what it looks like, and we'll see you then. Get my pizza pan ready to put it on, and my pizza peel to take it off with. And I think that looks good. Look what a beautiful Woodfire pizza that is. Oh my goodness, it smells wonderful. Let's get this one on. Pineapple peel off. And cheese. It's okay though. Close it up and let it cook. And we will take this one in and put it in the oven so it will stay warm till the other one cooks. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes since this one's been on, so let's take a peek. It needs another minute or two. Okay, it's been a couple more minutes, and I think it should be about done, so let's see. All right, let's check the bottom. Got the nice grill marks. I think this one is done. Cheese and pineapple. All right, let's turn that off. I'm going to leave the lid up, unplug it, and we'll go get these delivered. Well, this has cooled down a little bit. Oh, I just spotted 2 deer in the backfield. Looks like a mama and a baby. They're so cute. And so far, they have not discovered my garden. Anyway, back to the grill. It's not cooled down completely yet, but when it does, this grill plate is so easy to clean. It lifts right out. Do it one-handed. It lifts right out, and it's a non-stick. So all I have to do is spray a little of this Easy Off Cleaner, degreaser, heavy duty. And I take a water hose and wet it, and use this nylon brush, and it just every bit comes off. And I usually take a heavy duty paper towel and just wipe through the lid too to get any dried cheese or anything that might be sticking to it. And about every other time I use it, I do spray the inside with this Easy Off Cleaner, and it just cleans it up really, really nice. So that's all I got left to do. I did get a text from the family and said the pizzas have been devoured, and they all thought they were delicious and was thanking me so much for that. So glad they enjoyed them. And if you have any questions about making the pizza, just put it in your comment below, and I'll try my best to answer what I know. I'm still learning how to use it myself, so but I love it. I love the Ninja Woodfire Grill Pro XL. It also has a built-in thermometer that's stored in this little thing. You can see it wraps around here. So when you're doing big pieces of meat, you can actually check the internal temperature to make sure it's good. But you can grill, has a smoker, air crisp, air fryer, and bake on it. So that's the tutorial. So you all have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I love you, and keep walking in the light.